A while after the 1/8 Gas Nationals in Florida, I received this treasure of a photo of me and Ralph Birch and Ron Paris with this inscription on it, quote, "Gene, thank you for coming and your great race team and breaking all of our track records. Fort Lauderdale RC Speedway, Saloom Kossabum and Dottie Kossabum. Saloom and Dottie, I can't thank you enough for your gift. You're great people. I wish you all the best." You, of course, know this as Cliff Lett. Cliff was a test driver for the Yamaha motorcycle race team for champion rider Rick Johnson. He would take the motorcycle out and test it at high speed over the actual course that the next racing event would be held. Then he would change shocks and oils and springs until he found the best combination for that track. Sounds pretty wild to me, but that's what he was good at. Then he had to have an operation on his knee and couldn't ride motorcycles anymore. He didn't hurt his knee riding motorcycles, he hurt it on something far more dangerous, playing baseball. And that led to RC cars. Every year we have a Christmas party at Associated for our employees and an open house for our racers too. Jay Halsey and Cliff had become very good racing buddies, so Jay asked Cliff if he would like to go with him to our Christmas party. Cliff said sure. I knew Cliff, but my partner Roger Curtis didn't know Cliff too well, but he was able to talk to Cliff here for quite a while. At the end of the party, Reedy looked at both of us and said, "You should hire Cliff and start an R&D department with him." So we talked to Cliff, and he said it was a great idea, but that he would have to sell the 3 small businesses that he owned before he could start. We said, "Let us know when you're ready." A couple months went by, and Cliff said he sold 2 of the businesses, but he couldn't sell his titanium parts business. So Roger and I agreed to buy that business from Cliff, and on April 19th, 1988, Cliff started working with us in our new R&D department. It worked out great for all of us. The real McCoy race. The McCoy race is the longest running annual race in the country, outside of the Roar's annual Gas Nationals, of course, but the 1/8 scale Gas McCoy race has even become more popular than the Nats. It gets more entries and people come from all around the world to compete. There were people here from Mexico, Canada, and former world champion Rody Rome from Holland was here with a brand new Serpent car. The first McCoy race was held at John Thorpe's first track in Pomona. The track was smaller, bumpier, and without a doubt the loudest track we've ever run on. This was in 1972, at a time when there were no mufflers on the cars. We ran open exhausts, and some guys even made megaphones to make the exhaust louder. You all know how loud a car sounds now when it loses its muffler and is black flagged. All 10 cars sounded like that for the whole race. On top of that, 1 foot outside of the track surface were solid buildings which surrounded the track, so it all sounded like you were inside a drum. But that wasn't all. The driver's stand and pit area were on top of a cement railroad loading platform, and while you're driving, and no more than 20 feet behind you, would be trains rumbling by with more than 100 cars that we counted. All this did teach us one thing though, concentration. And do you know we were having fun racing here too? I can't remember if I ever won a McCoy race. I know I finished second a couple of times and third a few times. I remember one race I thought I had to win. I led every lap until the last lap when Gary Kais passed me to win by a couple feet. Kai's is a super racer. When Thorpe moved to his new, larger, smoother track, entries for the annual McCoy race started to grow. In 1986 and 1987, there were 160 entries for this race.
Here we are at the ranch pit shop with your camera woman, Big Husting. They're looking at the Associated Pits right now. You can see
she's got the camera on.
Ralph Birch here. He's talking to the camera.
Who's the girl?
Look at that jaw flap.
Let's have how are you doing, Clem?
We have 30 seconds left to go. 30 seconds left to go.
I'm doing.
How are you doing?
Well, qualifying went okay.
That is time.
Team's help, I got the car pretty good. Anyway, there was a little strategy in qualifying. The last round of qualifying, Curtis and I had a real good race. I let him beat me by 0.6 of a second so he could be in the A main and I'd be in the B. But I figure it's good job security.
Yeah, take care of
the boss's son in the main. Yeah.
Hey,
I'm sure Gene will like to hear that.
You learned that fast.
Yeah, see, it's just part of the game.
Well, that's the way it goes.
That is the race, driver.
Thanks for asking.
lap and 3 turns behind over here. Your fourth place car is Sunday. He is 2.5 laps down from your leader. Your fifth place car is Connor the Fourth. Rubber. He is currently 3 3/4 laps down from your leader. Your sixth place car is Connor the Sixth. Is still off the track. And your seventh place car is also off the track. Three-car race. 1, 2, and 5 are the only ones that haven't given a shot. Number 7 is out once again. Your fourth place car is out once again. Number 2 is lining up. to the four-wheel drive team, and the 10th place went to Curtis Husting.
Yeah, Curtis!
9th place went to Roddy Rowe.
year again.
Next year. 8th place went to Barry Grossenbacher. Barry Grossenbacher. Gary Kais. Gary Kais.
We have 2 of us. Can't have the 6.
And that is Kenny Kais out there.
I did it.
I did it.
6th place was your 8 scale world champion, a repeat Fusco. All the way from New York. Yeah, repeat comes and races with us all the way from Brooklyn, New York. It's a long trip. Finishing 5th, all the way from San Bernardino, is Kevin Mercandante. Finishing 4th in the 4-wheel drive main event was Gil Lucy Jr. Okay, I'm moving on to TQ trophies now. I'll give out your TQ trophy from the 2-wheel drive class. Running 13 laps, 4:10 with change was Raymond Zawiski. A Supercar and S-Power engine.
Knock on board.
Your 4-wheel drive top qualifier, turning 14.401 with the 5 and having the fastest 3 run of the weekend is Ralph Birch Jr. Texas! Two-wheel drive, top 3. 3rd place went to one of my favorite guys ever, the 16th annual McCoy 2-wheel drive champion. There's Ralph Phillips, associated by O'Donnell Engine. Not yet, don't let him open it yet. Wait until we get the other champion out there. 3rd place in the 4-wheel drive main event went to Butch Glover.
All right, Butch.
Butch, up here. Say progress. Your 2nd place finisher went to Tony Sushi Neisinger. Ralph Phillips, could I have you all back out onto the track to greet my other champion?
Both Ralphs.
Yeah. Your 4-wheel drive main event winner 2 years in a row and the first one ever to repeat as McCoy champion. The most prestigious race in the world is Ralph Birch Jr. Congratulations, Ralph. You did excellent. Everybody did fine this weekend. It was an awesome race. All right, let's have a soak down. Wet t-shirt contest. Rob knows how to do this, so I bet you he does it better than Rob Phillips. We'll see what's with the cricket on. Rob's got the cork. The cork is coming off. And Rob Phillips is still trying to hold on. Rob's getting the rest of it.
Well, we'll see you in Holland this summer.
Yep.
Want to do a close-up on my...
Reedy said it's Friday and Saturday.
Where's Rosetti? I want to go stuff my car.
So it does run the RPS.
There's Linda.
Oh, I got
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good. I haven't seen you all
I
day.
haven't seen you either. I've been out cruising.
Oh, well, that's the way to do it.
Did you see my new car yet?
No. Well, I
Take
gotta
a
get
picture of my new car. They don't have any problems.
You're embarrassing me.
Hard working Ronnie. Yeah.
Don't tell the IRS.
Yeah, we've seen
I won't tell him if you don't tell him.
Yeah, the more...
The two-wheel drive A main. Ralph Phillips won the race, with Mark Miranda taking second and Gil Losi Sr. following in third. Congratulations to all you guys. Ralph Phillips moved up to first place and won the two-wheel drive A main. Congratulations, Ralph. Ralph Birch set a new track record in qualifying and then led every lap in the main. This is what Ralph does when he has no problems. Tony Neisiger ran out of fuel but still finished in second, with Butch Klober taking third. Congratulations to all of you guys. If you had an engine built by Ron Paris and a car built by Ron, your job just got easier. This is Birch's car. Ron Paris got his reputation by building very fast and reliable engines for RC cars. But I think Ron is even better at building and tuning cars. Butch Klober had to work for it, but he took a well-deserved third-place finish with his RC 500 four-wheel drive car. Congratulations, Butch. Tony Neisiger ran out of fuel and still finished second with his RC 500 car. Way to go, Tony. I don't know how many first-place trophies Birch has. Nobody can count that high. Ralph, you're awesome. The Losi team has come out with a new ad for their Revolution motors and their Primetime batteries. I really like getting free advertising when other companies make products for our products on them. And I'm glad we're on the girl, because you know that's who the guys are going to be looking at. The first Roar 112 Nationals was held over 10 years ago in Seattle, Washington. The four-cell indoor event was held on a carpet track shaped like an oval track with a wiggle in one of the straights and the straightaway only 25 feet long. There was no time limit on the race. The driver who made 45 laps first, he won. It all seems very simplistic and easy now compared to where we are today. However, at the time, it was as competitive as it is today. After that, most of the Roar 112 Nationals were run on outdoor asphalt tracks. However, indoor carpet racing has become more and more popular, especially in the Midwest and northern states, and last year's Nationals in Orlando, Florida were held indoors on carpet tracks. This year's Nationals were sponsored by Sanyo, who has really actively supported electric RC car racing for years, and to whom we're all really indebted. and with a special thanks to Sanyo's Pat Takeda, who actually attends most of these races. The track was located in the Plymouth Hilton Hotel in a very large ballroom, which allowed for a larger track and more bleacher and spectator area. A plywood platform was laid over the original carpet, and then brand new carpet was laid over the plywood to give a super smooth track racing surface. We arrived in Detroit in the midst of a 102-degree heat wave with humidity to match and a record-breaking drought, but we figured we'd just stay in the hotel and everything would be okay. Wrong. The air conditioning decided to quit in half the hotel. I was fortunate that the air conditioning worked in my room and the ballroom, but it was a couple days before some of the other racers' rooms got air conditioning. There was only one day of practice, Thursday, but it seemed to be just enough. In Cleveland, you have to wait in line 2 hours to make a practice run. Here, the wait was only 15 to 30 minutes, so it was possible for all the racers to get many more practice runs in. Trying to pick who is fastest in practice is almost impossible. You can see who's getting the fastest laps, but you don't know if everyone's running 8 minutes. You also don't know if he's running his race motors or race batteries. Nevertheless, in practice, Mike Lavico looked to be the fastest and smoothest driver, and he was consistently running 8+ minutes. Joel Johnson was experimenting with different cars, trying to decide which he liked best, and then he was turning in some good lap times. Andy Dobson just simply always looks fast with a 112 car. Conspicuous with their absence was Tony Neisiger and Dave Heckler, who could only allow a minimum time off work and had to forego the luxury of a practice day. Try that, you guys.
Because it is. It has professional racing teams with all the things you see at the Grand Prix. High-speed straightaways, tight turns, crashes, and of course good-looking women hanging around the drivers. Another thing that's just like the Grand Prix, each of these cars has to have a driver. Now this one was just thrown out in an accident. Fortunately though, I'm happy to report he's all right. These are radio-operated auto racers, and this weekend Detroit will be the mecca with over 200 cars from all over the country coming to the Plymouth Hilton to compete. These racers compete for the love of the sport. Despite equipment investments of up to $3,000 in the car, there's no prize money, just the thrill of victory. What about the control system that you've got, the thing that looks kind of like something out of Star Wars?
Well, this is a photography radio, and it's equipped for changing. You could vary your left steering from your right steering, vary your brake from your throttle, full throttle. It also varies the amount of throttle in it. You can delay it, and it's got like a delay in the throttle and a delay in the steering, like right up in here.
And if you're looking for a good time, the place to be is the Plymouth Hilton. This goes on all weekend with the finals on Sunday afternoon. And best of all, it's free. Gene Taylor, Channel 7 Action News reports.
In 8 minutes. Is that who that is? Is that you? Thanks, Jerry. All right, this is not Eddie Murphy. All right, we have, please do not flash any cameras once we clear the grid, please. These guys don't blink for 8 minutes, so please be courteous. Will be good. Please try to concentrate on your corner. Obviously, the crowd will let you know if you don't. All right, I have given Ernie and Ernie Pavetti and Mike Reedy permission to stand on the chairs if. Ernie says never let him see you sweat. All right, the grid is cleared. Marshals are all in position. Everyone behind the barriers, please. Timers, your undivided attention. Mr. Flagman, it is yours. Oh, unbelievable air shot by Neisinger. And it's Neisinger and Johnson, a classic battle. Howard getting banged around by Mr. Bowring. And Dobson sitting in third. All right, Neisinger comes through the carousel. Down the straightaway, Joel Johnson in hot pursuit. And we got a pileup as Clausen is in trouble. Clausen is a dead player. Turn marshal delivers the car. They get it back to the backside of the track. It never went under the timing bridge, so it's going to be a problem. I got to think Clausen is out of this ball game. I'm sorry. It's not Clausen, I'm told. I'm sorry. Rusty Husband. Rusty Husband having trouble. All right. Back to the track. Tony Neisinger, current IFMAR world champion, out front. Joel, the Magic Man Johnson, working his way on the inside. Closing up a little bit, coming through the carousel. Down in third place, it's Rick Howard and Andy Dobson battling for third. I'm sorry, Chris Dosek. Chris Dosek. All right, we got him here. Dosek and Howard. Dobson's car chattering. Dobson's car chattering through the turn. Dosek's gotten by him in the number 7 car, and Dobson rides the dot a little bit, rolls it over, and meanwhile the battle for the lead between Neisinger and Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a standing classic battle between Joel Johnson and Tony Neisinger. Many people have waited many years to see this battle, and here it is at the 88 Nationals, Johnson and Neisinger dueling it out. All right. Dosek now coming up on the back of Rusty Husband, and Rusty moves. Thank you, Rusty. Oh, and Johnson closed the gap on Neisinger. Whoa, and it just seems to be a little bit of punch there between that Trinity and that Reedy motor. And look at this. Oh, and Neisinger catching the dot. Johnson goes underneath him, and Joel Johnson just threw the carousel with Neisinger just breathing down his back. Chris Dosek trying to tighten it up. Dobson sitting back in fourth, and now it's Lavico and Howard running 5th and 6th. All right, Joel trying to stretch out his lead over Tony Neisinger, and oh, we got a mess down there. And Rick Howard's car seems to have gone away. The body is up. The body is up. He's probably going to pull on the straightaway, and that's not going to do it. The race car has gone away. All right, he's all right. Back underway. 2:30 down, drivers. 2:30 down. Johnson out in front of Neisinger. Awesome racing, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely awesome. Andy Dobson's car is just not working as well as it should, and he is absolutely wrestling around the track, but doing a good job of it. Johnson and Neisinger about 30 feet separating them as Joel Johnson works his way through the S's. Tony Neisinger in hot pursuit. And Dobson now may have been... No, he is still in third. Okay. Fourth. He has dropped to fourth. I'm sorry. Chris Dosek is running in third. That's right. Was that me from the driver's stand? All right. Oh, and Rick Howard having a real rough time. And now the wing is off the car. The car is badly damaged. Not on the track, Fred. Just lift it up. Okay. And Rick Howard ends the evening early as the car is taken off the track, damaged. All right, 3:45 down, drivers, 3:45 down. Johnson, your top qualifier, and about 4 minutes away from a possible national championship to add to his list of many. And Neisinger got it on his mind to put a stop to it. Bob Light, I think you got some grief behind you. And Light lays on his back. Now, Craig Bowring, you've got the leader behind you. And Johnson not really gaining a lot of rug as he goes down the straightaway, but Neisinger trying to close. All right, Craig Bowring, the number 8 car, is sitting in front of Johnson. And I trust he will move when necessary. Dosek, full straightaway back from the second place car. This is as good as it gets. Until next year. I'll tell you what, if Holland's got anything to beat this, I want to see it. Five minutes, drivers. 5 minutes down, and oh, Clausen goes to 5. And now Neisinger closes up on Joel. And the distance separating them now is about 15 feet. And, oh, Tony catches a dot momentarily. All right, I must warn you, Bowring, Lavico, and Dobson, the freight train is coming through. All right, Neisinger closing up with Johnson with traffic in front of him. All right, Bowring moves over. Johnson goes by. Neisinger goes by. Oh, and Lavico gets loose. And Johnson now with Andy Dobson in front of him. They are lapping traffic at this stage of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Johnson goes by. And Neisinger, the Iceman, just tucks it under Dobson. And it's clear sailing in front of them. The next car up in front of them is the number 5 car. And we have 2 minutes to go, drivers. 2 minutes to go away from developing a new national champion. All right, Johnson trying to stretch out the lead. Classic duel, Joel Johnson and Tony Neisinger. This is the one that we've all been talking about probably since '86. Just so much more fun with 2 more cells. All right, car 1, Joel Johnson. Car 2, Tony Neisinger. Going at it with a minute and a half. Ken Clausen in car 5. He is in front of the leaders. Third place is still the little dude, I believe, Chris Dosek. Okay. And now the third place car gets let go by Mike Lavico. In front of Chris Dosek now is Dobson and Bowring. And Bowring lets him go. Dobson, whoa. Dobson lets him go. And it's tightening up down for the battle now. 40 seconds, drivers, 40 seconds. Joel's trying to shut the door, and it's coming down to this. It's coming down to this. Joel Johnson. Oh, my goodness. They're about dead even. And Joel Johnson tightening up the line. Neisinger trying to pull in, and we are 20 seconds and counting. Johnson takes it back. Oh no, and Ernie Pavetti just went weak. And it's one more time. Tony Neisinger. Oh, and Dosek gets big dump in the middle straightaway. 5 seconds and counting. 5 seconds. Pull him off. Pull him off. They're all right. Time. 7, you're done. 10, you're done. 7, come on back down the straightaway. Oh, yeah. Ladies, pull it over the straightaway, please, Tony. Pull it over the straightaway. Ladies and gentlemen, a brand new track record. Tony Neisinger goes 36.816. Excuse me, hold it. Tony Neisinger goes 36.806. Joel Johnson goes 36.816. Chris Dosek winds up in third, going 35 in 8 minutes flat. How about that one, ladies and gentlemen? We'll read it from the back of the pack. From the back of the pack, 10th place car was Rick Howard, pulling off early. 9th place car, Bob Light. The 8th place car, Rusty Husband. In 7th place, the number 8 car, Craig Bowring. In 6th place, the number 4 car of Andy Dobson. In 5th place, the number 3 car, Mike Lavico. In 4th place, we had the number 5 car of Kent Clausen. In 3rd place, the number 7 car of the little dude, Chris Dosek. In 2nd place, of course, the Magic Man, Joel Johnson, and the winner of the 1988 Nationals, unofficially, Mr. Carlos Ramirez, you have an award to pick up here at the timing table. Carlos Ramirez.
Congratulations to all you guys. You did great. Chris Dosick did really good with a third place finish. Congratulations, Chris. Joel the Magic Man Johnson took a well-deserved second place. Congratulations, Joel. The winning car of Tony Neisinger is the Associated RC12L car with Reedy motors and batteries. Congratulations again, Tony, on winning the 1988 Roar 112th On-Road Nationals. You're the one to beat. The 110th Off-Road Nationals. This was simply the biggest RC car race ever, with 620 entries. There is no question that RC cars are still growing in popularity. Last year at the Roar Off-Road Nats, which was a combined two-wheel and four-wheel drive schedule, there were over 400 entries in Atlanta. So this year, Roar split the Off-Road Nats into two separate events, one for two-wheel drive and a separate one on a different date and location for the four-wheel drive. So what happened? We ended up with 620 entries for two-wheel drive, and it looked like if both classes, two-wheel and four-wheel, would have been run together, we would have had over 1,000 entries. Incredible. The site of the two-wheel drive Nats was in Antioch, California, which is about 50 miles northeast of San Francisco. It's actually located out of town on Antioch Airport property and is about a stone's throw away from the one-way. Jack Hansen, the owner of the track, has really built up quite a racing complex. Besides the off-road track, there's a combination 1/12th, 1/10th, and 1/8th on-road track, a well-stocked hobby shop, and a large snack bar that also had snow cones, which kept everyone alive during the 100 to 106 degree days. The extremely hot, dry air also dried the track out quite fast, but a group of 6 to 8 Antioch club members raked and watered the track after every 4-minute run. They certainly deserved a big thank you from all of the racers. With 620 entries, the racing started at 8 a.m. and finished at 10 p.m. So I think all the track workers deserved a medal, including the radio impound people and the announcers, including John Thawley. They all worked their tails off and they ran a super race. With the huge amount of entries, there was just about enough practice time in 2 days so that everyone could get their cars dialed in, thanks to also being able to practice at night under the lights. It was impossible to pick a favorite during the practice days because some guys were running stock motors, some modified motors, and they all started at different times. On top of this, there were as many as 20 drivers running at once, so it was impossible for any of the good drivers to even try to drive good lines, let alone fast laps, because there was always 1 to 4 cars spinning out in front of every corner, but at least you got to see if your motor and radio worked. Reedy, Jim, and Jay Halsey and Cliff Lett all getting ready for the next run. It looks like Jay Halsey has all the latest trick stuff needed to go fast.
Driving the number 7 car for Team Trinity, a big round of applause, if you will, for Mr. Kyle Reed. Driving the number 6 car, first four-wheel drive national champion. 1 more week to enjoy it. From Region 3, driving for You're the money.
Team Associated, Reading Modified, the ever fast Mr. Cliff Letts. Driving for Team Lucy, the brand new JRX2 Revolution powered, number 3 car, Mr. Jack Johnson.
Starts flashing. I'm like,
Shaking.
one day I would have been.
Driving for Kyoto.
That's too cool.
Mr. Howard, I knew as much. For Walker Manufacturing, ladies and gentlemen, this year's Reading Race of Champions winner, two-wheel and four-wheel, Mr. Joe Schmidt. And ladies and gentlemen, your 1988 National Two-Wheel Drive Modified top qualifier,
Got him yet.
we got a mid race. Top qualifier, former national and world champion. Big round of applause, if you will, for Team Associated Reading Modified Powered, Chairman J. Halsey. Chad, move to the side. Chad, move to the side. Cyber ready, marshals, left line. Drivers, less than 5. Go! National Dragon Race. And it looks like R3, Jack Johnson, your leader. And we're going to sort out the marshals do an excellent job. Nice job, marshals. Jack Johnson, 100%. And it looks like Quick Red back to do revenge. Let me check that.
Get down the tube, don't quit.
All right, Cliff Red now back.
Cliff left.
He got hammered on in the evening, and he's bad as hell at hanging on the left end is back. Jack Johnson running in first. Cliff Red running in second. James Peter turning hard, running in third. And there's a follow coming out of the sweeper. Look at that one sorted out. Jack Johnson now got Cliff Red breathing fire now in third place. We got Jack to the RC10. Oh man, I hate to say it, but that's me bringing it to they got this brand new. I know the RC10's around for a long time to come. Johnson gets a little wide, but look at the horsepower. And he signs his shots up. And meanwhile, Peter is trying to get a little time. All right, we're a minute 30 out, drivers. A minute 30 out. Johnson, get up the wide. Good left, right on his back motorplate. Comes up, and he wants a piece of the American dream. All right, Junior out the straightaway. Here's Rusty Junior chasing down Cliff Red. And then I give Peter a lot of trouble because Junior will make that run. All right, drivers, you're 220 into it, 220 into it. Look at them, 1, 2, 3, going down the straightaway. We got Peter in three. Lucy versus Revolution, and we got all of it.
Peter?
Alright, let's sign up Peter. Peter, hold him up. Let him stay fine. Peter comes out the door. And let him down the straightaway. Look at the horsepower. Now, Peter over the jumper. It's a little swirly. Let him back. And Peter pushes down the inside line. That comes underneath him. Not going to lose this time. We'll see. We're going to see what happens. And we are going to have about the 3 minute mark drivers.
Our top qualifier, stock. Look at that. You top qualifier. Hey, crowd.
Okay, on behalf of Roar, we'd like to present this Roar clock to the two-wheel drive stock national champion, Mr. Ron Rossetti.
Yeah, baby. This is the A modified. Fifth place, Ron Rossetti. All right. First place, Cliff Lott. Top qualifier, Jay Halsey.
Okay, and on behalf of Roar, we'd like to present this clock for the two-wheel drive modified national champion, Mr. Cliff Lett.
Congratulations to all you guys. Jam and Jay Halsey took a well-deserved third place in this Stock A main. Congratulations, Jay. Who is this guy? I know somebody that looks just like him named Jim Dieter, the Trinity Motorman, but I didn't know he also had time to race. Congratulations, Jim. Rocket Ron Rossetti wins the decal war. His JRX2 car features primetime batteries, Novak speed control, and an Airtronics radio with a Revolution motor. Rocket Ron Rossetti lived up to his name by winning the two-wheel drive stock class with his JRX2 car. Congratulations, Ron. Congratulations to all you guys. This guy's on a hot streak. Jim Dieter took a second place in stock and then comes back and takes a third place in the modified class. Congratulations, Jim, you're looking good. Well, Gil, it looks like your new JRX2 is working great. I know how much work you put into it. You are to be congratulated on the car and on your great second place finish. All of the RC10 team drivers use Reedy motors and batteries and the new associated low-profile wheels and tires. Cliff Lett's RC10 car looks brand new and ready to go racing. This guy's on a hot streak. Cliff Lett wins another major event with his RC10 car, powered by Reedy. Congratulations, Cliff, you've got what it takes. This is our world-famous RC10 ad by Chris Chan, which for the first time ever shows an off-road car in action. This ad was awesome. Thanks, Chris. But after looking at this ad for a few years, even though it was still better than our competition's ad, I was getting tired of it. So I told Chris I wanted to do a new ad with Jay Halsey. He said, "What do you want to do?" I told Chris I wanted to do an ad that made an RC10 look like a full-scale car, with people around it, with a race announcer, a trophy queen, and some spectators. And it all has to look realistic. But Chris said, "We can't do this yet." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because that takes a process called layering, and that's not available yet. It's a few months away." So I said, "Okay, I'll get started on the car." So I called Chuck August, who lived up in Monterey, California. Chuck was simply the best body painter that I knew. Remember, this was 1988. Anyone that has ever painted a body knows that you have to do everything backwards when you paint the inside of a body versus painting the outside. I know you're looking at the girl, so we'll start there. You would have to start with the black colors, then the darker skin colors, and then the lighter skin colors, and then you could do the bathing suit and hair. I bet you never even noticed the flames yet. This is just one of Chuck's masterpieces. So when I talked to Chuck, Chuck said, "I'd really like to do this. When do you need this?" I said, "Take your time, we've got time." So 2 weeks later, Chuck called me and said, "Gene, one of my friends made a set of machined aluminum wheels for the RC10, and he said he'd sell them to you." I said, "Great, do it." So about the time Chris said he got a computer program that could layer, Chuck had sent me the body. It was totally awesome. It had racing headlights on the top, window safety net for the driver, bucket seat with shoulder harness, dash with instruments, and a Fram oil filter. So when Chris saw the body, he was pumped. A few weeks later, he brought the ad over. It was incredible. Even the title was great. He had put dirt all over the car to make it look like it had just came off the track. He had a photographer videoing the event with a racer and his girlfriend excited about the trophy presentation. And we had that handsome guy, Jay Halsey, receiving the trophy with the full-scale RC10 in the background and a lovely trophy girl to present the trophy and the announcer. Perfect. You would not believe how many people actually believed this was a full-size RC10 car. Remember, only a very few people at that time even knew what layering was. So if you saw a picture of a full-size RC10 car with Jay Halsey and other people in it, it was real, no question. For over a year, I had people asking me, "Where do you keep the full-size RC10? I would really like to see it." It worked. From September 1986 Rev-Up. Open letter to all ROAR members. An open letter to all ROAR officers, directors, and especially all concerned ROAR members. I was very concerned for ROAR that what had happened in the past could happen again. Specifically, there were 2 instances where 2 ROAR presidents had financial credibility problems with ROAR's finances. There was not a How to Run ROAR Guidelines booklet, that was handed to every new Roar president. It was a kind of learn-as-you-go system. Some people are very good at what they do. Mike Reedy just finished his 2 terms as Roar president. While he was president, the membership more than doubled to 15,000 members. Roar's treasury grew to the point that Roar was even able to award Roar trophies to the Roar nationally winners, something that could never have done in the past. Mike set the standard so high, nobody's even come close to the same membership totals again. But it takes time, dedication, and most importantly, honesty, which Mike has. An open letter to all Roar officers, directors, and especially all concerned Roar members. This letter is in regards to the new Roar bylaws. To begin with, this letter in no way pertains to the present Roar officers, but is rather intended to help guide the present as well as future Roar officers. Roar's had financial problems with 2 former presidents, and I believe we should learn from our mistakes so we do not repeat them again. I am definitely not referring to Merle Gardner here. Anybody who took the time to read the duties of the Secretary and Treasurer in the bylaws will see that they need to be defined quite a bit better as far as a general Roar member is concerned. Because of the financial difficulties that Roar has gone through recently, I would like to propose the following additions to the bylaws. Secretary. It shall be the duty of the Secretary to maintain all of Roar's critical records as determined by the President. In addition, the Secretary will be required to keep an accurate record of all Executive Committee meetings. This will include every proposal brought up at every meeting, the name of the person who made the proposal, the names of the persons who voted for the proposal, and the names of the persons who voted against the proposal. Following every executive meeting within 30 days, the Secretary shall send a 100% complete report of the meeting to every Roar director. Treasurer. It shall be the duty of the Treasurer to maintain a complete set of books on Roar's financial matters. The Treasurer must maintain an accounts received book which must contain a precise record of every single dollar which is placed in Roar's bank account. This will include the person's name, how many dollars and cents were received, and what the payment was for. The Treasurer must also maintain an accounts paid out book which must contain a precise record of every single dollar which is paid out of Roar's treasury and bank accounts. This will include the person's or company's name to whom the check is made out to, how many dollars and cents the check is for, and exactly what the payment was for. The Treasurer will send a complete Treasurer's report including all received monies and all paid out monies to every Roar officer and every Roar director, and this report will be sent out every month. In addition, the Treasurer will send a Treasurer's report to the Roar Rev-Up magazine every issue for publication, as it has always been done in the past. This is from Rev-Up. Roar members, as you can see, what I propose is to make sure that your money is handled properly. In a non-profit organization like Roar's, complete financial information must be made available to all Roar members all the time. Anybody who would argue with this simple proposal would have to have something devious to hide, and he should be removed from office immediately. If you think I'm right, or if you think I'm wrong, phone or send a simple postcard to your regional director saying, "Gene's right," or "Gene's wrong." He'll know what you're saying. And regional directors, talk to some of the people in your area about this, and then talk to your fellow directors and get this straightened out before it's too late again. Gene Husting. During Reedy's tenure of being Roar's president, Roar's magazine, Rev-Up, grew from a 12 to 16-page black and white booklet to a real magazine with 84 pages, Half of the magazine was composed of color and black and white ads. Reedy was a people person. People wanted to work with Reedy, doing different jobs. He got my wife Midge to volunteer to typewrite. Remember, there were no computers yet, so she typewrite all of the regional directors' columns and officers' columns each month for RevUp. She willingly did this with no pay, and dozens of other people volunteered to help Mike too. Midge voluntarily called all the manufacturers soliciting ads for RevUp. She told them, "These Roar racers are the people who are buying your cars and accessories." The result was unbelievable. This Custom Works Dominator 4 car is an example. Somehow she had an influence over someone at Associated for this RC10 ad. I don't know who that could have been. Ken McDowell at Parma ran a great ad. Proline came out with a strong ad. Futaba always has persuasive ads. Trinity was right there promoting their line of batteries, and Lightspeed was promoting their line of custom parts. Pactra came through with a great paint job to support their paints, and putting that steering wheel in back of the transmitter was a great touch by K.O. Propo. And of course, the back cover was always reserved for MRC Tamiya. There was even more black and white ads of all different sizes, down to small ones like these on page 84. We're moving up in time now to December 1988. Eric Gudger from Tampa, Florida, is now the Roar president. This is a Roar letter from Eric to me. This is a Roar letter from Eric Gudger, December 10th, 1988, to Gene Husting. Dear Gene, enclosed is a list of Roar's various committee members as we head into 1989. You will find your role as a member of one or more of these committees. Very important to our organization. Please take the time to reflect what this position and responsibility mean. You are involved with the very future of our sport. Committees should begin to gather ideas for the new year. Committee chairmen who have not completed selection of members yet, please do so before the new year is upon us. As soon as possible, please have a list to me on the issues you will be working on. If you have an unfinished project in the works, let me know where you are with it. To make things easier on all of us, please submit only complete, ready-to-go ideas and projects. Keep me abreast of any phone or address changes. Roar is poised to make some gigantic steps this year. With your help on these important committees, our force in the radio control market will increase tremendously. I know that you will be a valuable asset to the Roar team. Please feel free to contact John Thawley, Gary Keyes, or me about your concerns or interest. Best regard, Eric S. Gudger. This is a letter from GE General Electrics from a GE supply division in Tampa, Florida on December 12, 1988. Gene, enclosed are copies of monthly financial reports. The information sends out to Howard and the President. I would like for you to look at this information and raise a few questions. My own analysis reveals a few key areas of problem. However, I would prefer if each of us initially finds his own trouble area. Let me know what you find out, and please keep this confidential. I do not want to lay any blame until I have the proofs, documentation to back my assumptions up. Eric. Eric thinks there could be something going wrong with Roar, but he's not quite sure what. This looks simple enough. It's a rev-up financial statement. The balance of $513.87, $11,845.66. It shows a total of $23,107 as income, and it shows expenses of $26,328.59, which to me means we're spending more than we're taking in. Now let me show you the problem. In September 1988, I received 4 pages of a Treasury report from Roar President Eric Gudger, which showed me Eric is trying to do the right thing. But from these 4 pages, it still was very difficult to know exactly where the money was going. This is the bottom line department right here on income only. Total this month, $48,385.52. Total up to last month, $282,787.27. Total to date, $331,172.79 in September 1988. This sounds really good, but only the expenditure sheets will tell the final story. Look at item number 1, advertising and promotion. What has Roar spent $16,234 on? Item number 2, contract labor, $26,807.44. What's contract labor? Item number 3, payroll, $34,161 for 9 months, which would be over $50,000 a year for a part-time job. This only means more questions. Item number 4, printing, t-shirts. My God, $34,735 for t-shirts? Somebody has an unlimited expense account or no idea what they're doing. Item number 5, professional fees, $13,394. Which profession? Item number 6, rev-up costs, $6,867.50 last month. To September 9 months, it should have cost $61,804, but it shows $101,170. Why did we overpay by $50,000? More questions. Item number 7, telephone, $11,453 or $15,200 a year. Somebody likes to talk a lot. December 22nd, 1988. This is a letter from me to Roar President Eric Gudger. Hello, Eric. Concerning the financial reports, it's very difficult for me to tell exactly what's right and what's wrong, but I do have some suggestions and a million questions. I'll list some items randomly as I think of them. To begin with, on each financial statement should be included the amounts of all Roar's bank accounts and especially savings accounts, so you can tell how much money Roar does or does not have. There should also be a section showing amount of new Roar members, new clubs, and new tracks. Under expenditures, a total of $8,000 was disbursed under refunds and return checks. What is this for? A total of $16,234 was spent for advertising and promotion. Apparently we can't afford for this whatever it was. For office supplies, a total of $6,209.51 was spent for paper clips or whatever, I'd like to know what for. And $6,119 for furniture fixtures. What was it? A total of $30,668.53 was spent for postage shipping. My God, we're doing something really wrong here. What could it be for? What couldn't it be done a more economical way? A total of $61,000 for payroll and contract labor. Roar certainly can't afford figures like these. Something is basically wrong here. Printing and t-shirts, a total of $30,668.53. That's enough to print 2 complete issues of Rev Up in color. What did Roar print that equals that? Rev Up. I think there's a better way to print Rev Up so that the quality did not suffer too much and the cost can be brought down. I don't know the exact cost of printing and mailing right now, but I think Roar should come up with a figure such as $1.50 per issue, times 6, which equals $9, that each Roar member will be paying out of his dues for Rev Up, plus the fixed amount for insurance. I don't know the amount, so let's say $3. So every time a member joins Roar, the money should be deposited in separate accounts. As an example, a member pays $20 dues. Bank accounts. Rev Up $9, insurance $3, payroll $175, miscellaneous $6.25. In addition, the Rev Up advertisers' ad money will go into the Rev Up account. This way you know you can't touch any of the Rev Up money except for Rev Up. The insurance money is only for insurance. Payroll money is always available for payroll. The miscellaneous amount has to take care of all the rest of Roar's spending. If it's not enough, Roar's spending too much. You'll always know where you're at all the time, instead of the right hand not knowing what the left hand is doing. The phone bill sounds out of line. I'm not sure those costs couldn't be cut down. Eric, Roar has to be run like a business, and it shouldn't be too hard to do with the correct guidelines. The problem with the current system is that it always looks like there's a lot of money in the bank, so everyone's always in a hurry to spend it, not realizing it's already allocated for an expenditure. Think about what I propose for the separate bank accounts. Sincerely, Gene Husting. The 1988 1/12 Electric IFMAR World Championships were here. The 98 1/12 Electric IFMAR World Championships were held in Holland and were sponsored by Corrali and held at the Micro Barn Hall. When I first got to the track, it looked great. It would be easy for the drivers to see, and there was plenty of pit space. This was the first practice day, and we were among the first to get there. So I was quite surprised to see a black groove on what was supposed to be a brand new track. The first red warning light. Watch out. A great view of the pit area. At the end of the day, we were running as good as anyone else, so I knew we'd be okay. Then they made a PA announcement saying there would be no open practice from 6 to 10 p.m. as stated in the program, because no club members were available to help. That was a second red warning light. Things are getting worse. The third red warning light was when we got to the track the next morning to see the Corrali team drivers smoking our drivers, and they hadn't even run at all yesterday. Now I knew how the black groove was put on the carpet. This carpet track was here for a week, and the Corrali team drivers had a week's practice already. Doesn't look good. So I went to Ted Longshaw, the IFMAR president, and told Ted what was happening. He said, "What do you want me to do?" "All I want is to have IFMAR run this World Championship by IFMAR rules. We are supposed to be running on a track that no one has run on before." Ted said, "But Gene, we've already run on it." I said, "I know. To make it fair for everyone, which is what it's supposed to be, we should simply just run the track in the other direction. Nobody has done that, and that will make it fair and even for everyone." Ted said, "Sounds fair to me," and we went to talk to the club president. The club president said, "No way, we're not going to change anything." And Ted came back and told me that and said, "What do you want to do now?" I said, "Go back and tell him if he doesn't change the track, the associated team will pick up and go touring, and from what I've heard from other teams, they will do the same thing. Then tell him it will no longer be an IFMAR World Championship, but a Corrali club race instead." Then Ted came back in about a half an hour, and I said, "What happened?" Ted said, "He about blew a fuse. He was really mad." I said, "Good. Then he knows how I felt. So what's he going to do?" He said to ask you if he kept the track open every night all week from 6 to 10 for additional practice for all the drivers except the Corrali team drivers, would your team then race? I said, "Under those conditions, we will race." Ted said, "I'll go and tell him, and I'll make sure he does it, okay?" I said, "Okay. Thank you, Ted." Then Ted said, "Would you really leave and go touring?" I said, "We'll never know." Christian Kyle from Germany is one of our distributors, and he is also one of the best drivers in Europe. Christian came to the USA and won the annual Cleveland Indoor Championships. He's good. Phil Davies from England is also one of the top drivers in Europe. Tony Neisinger has already won 2 1/12 World Championships, so you know he's going to be tough to beat. You know Tony Neisinger on the left, and you know Mike Lavico on the right, and you're going to be knowing about Masami Hirosaka from Japan in the middle. Masami has been pretty quick in practicing, so Tony and Mike are checking out Masami's RC12L car to see if there's something he's done that they haven't done. About a year ago, Ken Clausen came over to me and said, "Gene, I've got to quit the team." I said, "Why?" He said, "I just can't drive like I used to." I said, "Maybe you need glasses." He said, "I don't need glasses. I'm not that old." We were at the pit shop track, and there were banners on the back wall down the straightaway, so I pointed to a banner directly across the track from us. I said, "What does it say on the bottom line?" which were small letters. He said, "I can't read them. They're too far away." I said, "What does it say on the bottom line?" which were small letters. He said, "I can't read them. They're too far away." I went through exactly what Kent was going through. I was also going to quit because it was hard to see the cars. So I got some glasses, and then it was easy to see, and I went on to take a 3rd place in the 1977 Gas World Championships at Pit Shop. So I was trying to help Kent. I read the small letters, which he said he couldn't read. Then he said, "Well, you just knew that one." I said, "Can't you pick out another one?" that you can't read, and I told him what it was. We did this 2 more times. So I said, Kent, I felt like you. I didn't want to wear glasses either. So I asked myself, do you want to not wear glasses, or would you rather wear glasses and continue racing? The choice was rather easy for me. So Kent thought about it, got glasses, and now here he is in the World Championship Finals again. If you think you are, or a friend is, in this stage of life, I have an easy test. You should easily be able to read a car's license plate numbers and letters from 100 feet away. And I don't mean 99 feet. Mark it off, and no cheating looking at the numbers first. Give yourself a fair chance. You can thank me later, like Kent did. Chris Dosick is one of those racers who you know is going to be in the finals. Sean Ireland is thinking, I've tried everything else. I guess I better try this one last thing too. That's the Texas Longhorn salute, but Joel Johnson is from California. All I know is, if you want to win a 1/12 race, first you have to beat Joe. There's a new rising star coming into view. He's not very big, but he does very big things. Meet Masami Hirosaka from Japan. He's very fast. The motor wizard, Mike Reedy, always seems to be able to give the team the horsepower they need to get the job done. He's one of a kind.
Only one play. You guys thought that was You're trying to get us right. I'm not stupid. Give that thing back to Reedy. Get a new one. Get a new one. Back was really good too. I ran it like 4 times yesterday. And then we practiced again and practiced again. Trying to get back there or? What are they trying to get?
There's no the candid camera.
It was on course as we heard.
Reedy, notebook, laptop, Bart en Bargon en een hele rij dus vanuit Troy, Ohio, USA, Chris Dosick.
We get asked to qualified second. Figure International Associated Reedy, Novak, Futaba, Autographics, and a handful of other people as sponsors. From Corona, California, USA, Tony Van Halen. Nice meeting you.
Is de huidige wereldkampioen Tony met bijna met Van Halen.
include this guy in pretty soon, won't we? Yeah. The number one qualifier. Attention, attention. Yokomo Associated Reading and Novak, the sponsors. From Tokyo, Japan, Mr. Asami Hiroshima.
Okay, we'll carry on the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, Karate presents the 1988 World Championships.
It's my world championship.
What are we supposed to say? A lot of people will be watching this down on the page. Clear the track, please. 30 seconds. Clear the track. Marshal, pay attention. 10 seconds. Drivers. Attention. Well, there we go. And who's the first one?
Asami still leads. If you look at the front straightaway where the car started, if you can take a quick glance there are tire marks in the carpet from Neisinger's car. Is the thing leave hard or what? Yeah. Asami still leads out of that straightaway. Neisinger, Joel, and car number 3, which is Buster Johnson. Johnson all over these guys. Asami still leads. Neisinger got Joel all over him to the end. Look out. Car 2, Neisinger with some breathing room finally, but he's got Johnson right behind him down the straightaway. Meanwhile, Asami is just out for a cruise now. It's all over the show. Neisinger and Johnson going at it down the straightaway. Clausen has moved into 4th place. Car number 6. Look out, guys. Here comes Clausen. Neisinger's going to have to work on this one because Asami beats it. It's over. Clausen moving into 3rd place, and Neisinger's got number 6 cruising up on him from behind. Clausen's got covered in horsepower, but Neisinger's driving the line. On the straightaway, Neisinger pulls out some ground over Clausen. The leader is still Asami on the front chute, car number 1. 2nd spot, Neisinger. 3rd is Clausen. 4th. 5th place, I think it's Joel. Got started to come back up again in car number 4. We're 2 minutes down. Everybody's in the 14-second bracket. With the exception of a couple I like. Asami still leads. Neisinger 2nd. Clausen 3rd. Neisinger drops his spot. Now it's Clausen in 2nd. Car number 6. Oh, number 1. Asami still leads with the machine-like driving style of this guy from Japan. It's incredible. They just plug this guy into the transmitter and stand him up when he's running. Car number 2 is hanging in there in 2nd place. Clausen over the couple of drops to his track is in 3rd. Joel Johnson's moved up into 4th place. Lap time, still here, 14.6.
The best.
So Neisinger trying to hold off Kent Clausen as they go up through the infield. In 4th place, he's got Johnson right behind him in 5th. Asami still leads. He's got Mike Wilson already. He's not having a good day. He made the program. Neisinger, car 2 still in there. Asami still leads. second. Third place, car number 3 now. Oscar Johnson. Look back, he wins the place to get a score.
Nederlander gaat de laatste ook achteraan. Zie je dat? Ja, hij heeft de laatste.
Sunny still leads in Mark 1. Neisinger after the start closed in a little bit. Lap time from 14.7 to a 14.8, so they're identical times. Within 100 for 2. Third place is Phil Johnson. Fourth place is Lawson. This spot is car number 0, Anders Nielsen. He's right there. He's closing up on the group. Hanging in. A full straightaway between first and second. We are 4:20 down. So, help these guys. Car number 3 is actually closing in on Neisinger, so Oscar Johnson is closing in on Van Halen as they come down to the end section. We might have a three-way battle for the lead at the 8-minute mark. This ought to be neat. We're 4:45 down. Lawson right there hanging on to the fourth spot. Don't mistake, guys, please. Don't need any work right here. 5 minutes down. Where's our counting down here? Making these guys nervous. They're not nervous by now. I never will be. Half a straightaway between first and second. Second and third are actually the closest battle on the track. Those guys are knocking on each other already. So it's Neisinger and Johnson. 5.5, 3/4 of a straightaway between first and second place. 4.7 seconds for the leader. The fastest lap on the track was a 4.5 by Johnson. Johnson's finding the line somewhere. 3/4 of a shoot between first and second. I wonder if they got Kasami's radio problem installed. We hope so. Working on 6 minutes, drivers. Meanwhile, third place is car 3, fourth place is car number 6 now, Andy Lawson. Fifth spot, car number 4 with Joel Johnson. And 6th is car number 8, Tristan Kyle. An excellent run in the previous round. And Johnson is closing in on Neisinger. Will help. Guys. Your leader, car number 1. Second spot, Neisinger, car 2, third place. We're going car number 3 still. Johnson still hanging there third. That's a distance between us all. Nice move. Look at car number 9, parked in the corner, waiting for him to go by. Excellent. 1 minute to go. 1 minute remaining. Tommy with a big lead now over Neisinger in car 2. Full straightaway and turn advantage for car number 1. Neisinger, car 2, hanging in there. Car 3 is still in third place. The start is a low end in the motor. Fourth spot now is car number 6, Andy Lawson, and good for showing car number 8, which is Tristan Kyle. 30 seconds to go. Asani still leads. On the back straightaway. And I think Lawson just moved up the place. We'll have to wait for him to come by. Car number 6 is in third now. Neisinger, we have less than 10 seconds. Asani will go one more. Okay, we need the IMPAR jury for this. Wherever, up here, they gotta have to, yeah, up here. The IMPAR jury to go over the results of the race. Neisinger finishing second, 33.8 flat with a 2.
Masami Hirosaka from Japan wins his first 1/12 World Championship, with the two-time winner Tony Neisinger taking second and Christian Kyle third. It's funny how that extra practice time evened out the field. Congratulations to all you guys. You did great. Congratulations, Christian, for your fine third-place finish with your Reedy-powered RC12L car. Two-time 1/12 World Champion Tony Neisinger added a great second-place finish to his list of accomplishments. Way to go, Tony! Masami's associated RC12L car uses Reedy motors and batteries and a distinctive paint job that is easy to identify on the track. Everyone says green is unlucky for race cars. I guess they forgot to tell Masami. One fast group. Number 1, Masami Hirosaka. Number 2, Tony Neisinger. And number 3, Christian Kyle. All use the associated RC12L cars and Reedy motors and batteries. You guys were awesome. Congratulations. It looks like Masami's even got this cork thing figured out too. He's already spraying before the others even start. 1/12 World Championships in Holland. Headline of RC Model Cars magazine. A great photo of world champion Masami Hirosaka from Japan. Competition Plus magazine. IFMAR 1/12 scale World Championships. If you look at the trophy, you can see a reflection of a green car. Great cover, Competition Plus.